Hello and welcome. This video we're going to take a look at the Dauntless, the ship seen in that one Voyage episode. It was Hope and Fear, I think it was called. So, with the announcement that this ship's just had a bit of a remaster on PC, I was looking through my list and realised I hadn't done a video on it yet. So I thought, now's the perfect time. So, we'll be looking at the Vanity shields from the Dilithium store. These are available during certain events throughout the year, and also the only shield currently available in the Zen store. Now, whilst I was recording this video, I was having a bit of a moan on Discord. I know, shocking. Imagine me moaning about anything. And I happened to mention that the Vanity shields still weren't quite right on this ship, that we were getting the Bizarre Collector effect as the impulse engines, and I was informed by somebody, we shall remain nameless at the moment, but he is in the know, that this is sometimes intentional, which is driving me nuts, because I like everything as it should be. So, as we go through the video, you'll see me mention it quite a few times, especially with the likes of the Barrel Vanity Shield. It has one of the best impulse engine effects of any of the shields and one of my personal favourites. Doesn't have it on this ship, unfortunately. So, backstory over. Usual comments here. So in the description below, I've got all the chapters listed there for all the different shields. Also several links that I'll cover off at the end of the video. So all that being said, let's crack on. So the first shield we'll take a look at is the Alliance Vanity Shield. So this shield is the only shield available in the Zen store and comes as part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle, in which you get the shield, uniform and an upgrade. So this white patterned hull material with grey and gold shading. Bit of a odd shape, this ship. And the cyan there, which is the deflector colour. See that again there on the underside. Then we have the cyan there for the warp nacelles. And then we've got the Bizarre Collector orange plasma effect there in place of the impulse engine effect, unfortunately. You can see around quite a bit of shapes there outlined in the grey. Same there with the gold. Then the same there on the underside. Moving on to the Dilithium store now. So this is a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity Shield. So I've got this two-tone grey patterned hull material. Touches of lighter grey there as well. This bright yellow deflector array pattern there. The yellowish gold there for the nacelles. Then the Bizarre Collector effect again there in place of the impulse engines. It's almost like a urban camouflage kind of pattern to the hull material. So look at the underside and that patterned hull material, and then we've got this green and goldish yellow pattern there on this lower, almost like a plectrum shape there. Next up is a very popular shield in the game. This is the Barrel Vanity Shield. With this black hull material. Unfortunately, it does obscure the ship name and registry number a bit on it. And this cyan deflector colouring there. Now with the cyan lighting there for the nacelle, and then unfortunately the Bizarre Collector colouring, as the impulse engine effect for this shield is a lovely deep red. Then just catching the light there, you can see that carved pattern in the hull material as well. And same as we rotate around the ship and the light hits it. Yeah, so look down, see a bit more of that etched pattern design to it. And the same here on the underside. And then we've got a bit of white lighting effect there as well. This is the Borg Vanity shield. As I've mentioned on numerous videos now, that they really do need to rename this shield, as it gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel. And quite a lot of players buy the shield thinking they're going to get a fully assimilated ship, such as we've seen on Voyager, for example, or in Enterprise with Arctic 1. So, looking at this shield, we've got the grey hull material. It's got a pattern effect made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plating. On the nose here, we can see this black conduit material. It's the same underneath these blue illuminated sections and that orange and gold illuminated section there at the top. So that's sections of the ship that's missing its hull plates, basically. And it's designed to give it a look of exposed conduits underneath. So we've got the blue there for a deflector effect there. And then we've got the blue again there for the nacelles. Blue there on the impulse engines. So look down, again we can see that conduit material there and the associated lighting effects on it in a better perspective. And we've got a touch more of that conduit material here at the nose of the ship. Same down here at the rear, and then the blue lighting on this plectrum shaped dome here. This is the Courier Raider Vanity Shield. So it's one of the older shields in the game, and not to be confused with the new Bean Raider Vanity Shield. So we've got this almost bare metal colouring to the hull material with some black shading, as we can see just coming down almost the spine of the nose, if you like. And the very bright white lighting there for the deflector effect. And the white there for the nacelles. And same there for the impulse engines. Put your sunglasses on as the light hits the hull material. It's a very bright and reflective material this is. You can see a bit of a pattern effect in the hull material as well. And then with the same here on the underside, blinding light and everything. Next up, it's the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this shield has two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. I've mentioned it in the past that for shields such as this, it would be better if they could just split them out, as having the Federation and the Klingon versions independent, so you could apply either or, regardless of your faction. So for Federation Line characters, you get this two-tone patterned grey hull material to give your vessel the look of Starfleet vessels in Season 1 of Discovery. Now the blue there for the deflector. Blue there on the nacelles. And then the Bizarre Collector, blue and white patterned lighting there as the impulse engines. As you look down, you can see the full pattern effect and the different shades to the grey hull material. And we're the same here on the underside. Here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield on a Klingon Line character. So we've got this two-tone brown patterned hull material. We've got the orange, yellow and white pattern effect there of the nacelles at the front. And surprise, surprise, on the rear as well. Then we have the red and pulsating white Bizarre Collector effects there. So look down, you see the full extent of that pattern effect of the hull material. And then the same there on the underside with a bit of red and white lighting effect there. This is the Discovery Refit Vanity Shield. So again, we've got a two-tone grey hull material. It's slightly darker than the Discovery Vanity Shield. And we can also see the pattern effects in it. This blue and white deflector effect here at the front. And the blue and white there on the nacelles. And the very bright white Bizarre Collector effect there at the impulse engines. And down you see the different shades of the grey there and the pattern effect of the hull material. Then we're the same here on the underside. This is the Emerald Chain Vanity Shield. So you can see the various shades there to the brown on the hull material, along with the pattern effect. Then we've also got this pattern material here, as you can see on the nose, and we'll see it up here at the top of the ship when we rotate round. This grey and white effect here for the deflector. Now the same there for the nacelles. Then a slightly yellowish white there for the impulse engine effect. And as we look down, you see that full pattern effect to the hull material, and there's more of that patterned material there as well. And with the same here for the underside. This here is the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So I've got the grey hull material with this purple shading here as well. You can see this blue illuminated dot pattern throughout the hull material, kind of like a star field. And I have this yellow and white effect here. Now I've been referring to this as the deflector up till now, but that is actually in the cell colouring. Unfortunately, most of the other shields have similar nacelle and deflector array shading, whereas this one doesn't. So that is another nacelle colouring there. And then as you can see here in the nacelles, we've got that yellow and white there. And we had the slightly deeper yellow and white facade collector effect for the impulse engines, as the impulse engines on this shield are a cyan colour. And then as we look down, you can see that purple shading there at the top. We've got the blue illuminated dots going throughout the entire hull material. Now if I pause there on the underside, you get a better view of that blue illuminated dot pattern, especially in contrast to the starfield at the back. And we've got the orange deflector colouring here on the underside. And a touch more of that purple shading as well. Here we have the Ferengi Vanity shield. So we've got the orange hull material that we see in the Ferengi vessels in the TV shows, along with some gold shading there as well, and some of this rivet detail also, and then just a pattern effect within the hull material as well. We have the yellow nacelle colouring there. Same on the nacelles at the rear, again with some more of that rivet pattern. And we have the deeper yellow for the impulse engine effect here. And as we look down, you see that pattern effect in the hull material and quite a bit more of that rivet detail as well. And with the slightly lighter yellow deflector colouring there, touch more of the gold shading and more of the rivet detail also on the underside. Here we have the Hur'q Vanity shield with this green hull material and this purplish brown shading, along with this illuminated green pattern material also. You can see it going right around the rim here. And we have this green colouring of the nacelles there. Same on the nacelles at the rear. And the facade collector effect there at the impulse engines. Funnily enough, also green for this shield. You see some more of that purplish brown shading there. Some of that illuminated green material. Some more of that on the underside there as well. And a bit of this black shading giving a slightly textured effect to the hull material as well. And we've got the green colouring there of the deflector. And again, some more of that illuminated green material here on the side. This is the Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield. So, like the Discovery one, it does have two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, you get the appearance of the Starfleet ships in the reboot films. So we've got the grey patterned hull material, the blue and white nacelle colouring there. Same on the nacelles at the rear. And then unfortunately that absolutely awful Bussard collector effect of the shield is applied to the impulse engines. Thankfully it's masked quite a bit with this red, but unfortunately you can still make it out. And then again just that grey patterned hull material and this blue and white pattern here on what I think is the deflector, which is a bit of a weird place to put it on the underside of a ship, but hey ho, we've seen them on the rear of ships before, so why not the underside? This is the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield on a Klingon aligned character. So we have various shades of green here for the hull material, and touches of grey shading there as well. I have the blue honeycomb pattern of the nacelle there at the front. Same there on the rear nacelles, and then the yellow Bussard collector colouring for the impulse engines. As we look down, you can see there's different shades of green and the pattern effect within the hull material. And we're the same here on the underside. So here we have the Prodigy Vanity Shield. That's a lovely grey hull material. It's got a bit of a pattern effect here at the nose. Got this orange illumination here on the side. Then we have the blue nacelle colour there. Some more of that orange and white illumination on the side. The blue nacelles there. And the blue and white Bussard collector effect for the impulse engines. Yeah, slightly darker grey pattern effect there on the top. More of the white and blue illumination there as well. And a bit of a pattern effect just coming down these lines on the underside. Here we have another very popular shield in the game. It's the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So I have several different shades to the hull material that have a check pattern within them. And we also have this stripe material here at the nose. Very bright cyan nacelle colouring there. And to nobody's surprise, the same there on the rear nacelles. You'll see that red there at the impulse engine location. So for this shield, the Bussard collectors are normally blacked out and they do have a red glow around them, and we're just seeing that glow intensified there. Let's look down, we can see the several shades to the hull material and more of that stripe material pattern there. Same again there on the underside, and then this blue illumination here as well. Here we have the Shrike Vanity Shield. We've got this rustic orange shading for the hull material there, with this very light grey and slightly darker grey shading as well. Also this burgundy shading there, as you can see at the side and at the rear. And we've got the orange nacelle colour there at the front, and on the rear nacelles as well. Then we have the orange and white Zhat collector effect there for the impulse engines. And we see more of that burgundy shading there. There's a darker grey and the whiter grey there at the front. Same there on the underside. And then the orange and white illumination there as well. Now we come to the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield, and I always say this one's a very busy Vanity Shield. So we've got the green hull material there with this carved pattern in it. We have some grey and some black shading. Pulsating white light here at the front. And then we have this panel lighting here on the side, and you can see some of that pulsating quite happily. And we have the white nacelle colour there. More of the pulsating lights on the side there. White for the rear nacelles. White for the impulse engines with the Zhat collector pattern effect on it. And you see that carved pattern throughout the hull material and on the cells as well. Some more of the grey shading, and then there's more of the black shading there also. We have that yellowish orange deflector colouring there. And more of that white panelling effect following the seams of the ship. And some more of the black shading as well on the underside. And the last shield currently available in the Dilithium store is the Zhat Vash Vanity Shield. So we have this olive green and sandy brown hull material. These colours always put me in mind of an army camouflage. Might as well get that out of the way first. Then we have the white and green there for the nacelle colouring. The green and white pattern effect there of the Zhat collectors as the impulse engines. I've got the red illumination there on the underside, and just more of that two-tone hull material. And that concludes the video on the Dauntless. So thank you all very, very much for watching. This is one of the ship models that will drive me nuts with not having the correct effects on the correct places, i.e. the impulse engines, deflector and so forth. But as I said at the beginning, that is sometimes intentional, which means it's sometimes not intentional. So we don't know if this is or isn't. In the description below, I have my X and Blue Sky accounts linked, so feel free to reach out there. Also have links to the STO wiki, and the main Star Trek Online news blog is there as well. For content wise, I have links to Casual Sab, Nick NB and MC Stu. Their YouTube and Twitch channels are there, so if I haven't checked them out, make sure you do. Hit them up with a like and a sub, as they're all very much appreciated amongst all of us. Their channels cover a whole host of different content, from news videos to reviews, builds, Q&As, live streams, so they certainly are worth a check out. And as always, I can just thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video or the next live stream.